unfiltered, real and raw. No time to fake, you gotta give it all. From battles in the ring to chases on the street, Mike and Trevor making life complete.
What's up, guys? I am Trevor O'Connor. As always, my co-host and was it hetero life mate?
Yep.
Mike Gonzales, right across the table from me. And this is episode 5. After the final bell. We're starting to get this.
Getting the groove.
Yep. Starting to feel it.
It's just normal to me now.
Now you just show up.
Well, yeah, because it's like... Yeah.
The first couple, you remember, it took us, like, we sat in here for a few minutes getting ready.
Yeah.
and the start stops and the, yeah.
Yeah.
But now we're right there.
Yeah.
Now we're right there. Episode 5. It's coming along well. We stayed on schedule the entire way.
Mm-hmm.
Slightly later today because I was forced to leave the house.
Now, so that was, what 8, 9 days? 10? No.
No more. 12 days.
12 days. All right. So
11th to the 23rd.
So we're going to mark this day.
This is day 1 now.
Reset.
No, this is day 0.
Reset.
In the morning, we start day 1.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it. Cancel. Robots are getting us.
she even knew you didn't like it.
Yeah, the robots are getting us. I have cemented the fact that I am perfectly fine never going in public.
Were you excited at first, and then once you get halfway there, you're like, do I really want to do this, or is it?
I will be perfectly honest with you. When I had the conversation with my friend Steve Paprocki, because he had the Colorado Jiu-Jitsu Club Pro Show today, I was like, yeah, I definitely would want to go to that. That's something I would like to do. I'll go to that show. When I woke up this morning, I did start Rolodexing the possible excuses of why I couldn't go.
So you went through the whole Rolodex.
Most of it. But I had some gear that he needed to borrow. So, unfortunately, I was locked. Like, I had to go.
Was it a heads up, or was it last minute ask?
No, it's been over the last few days.
Okay.
Probably the last 3 or 4 days, he's been asking me questions because he wanted to live stream the jiu-jitsu show. And he's not like the most tech-savvy guy in the world, but he wanted to do it himself instead of hiring in, or the people that he used were unavailable or something.
Yeah.
So he was trying to figure it out. And so he was calling me, asking me several questions on how to get it done. And I realized very quickly that he didn't have 80% of the right gear to get him there, as far as audio for sure. And then video was going to be hit or miss.
Yeah.
So we put together there's a tub right over there. We put together an entire tub of things, took it down there, set up his audio, got him going. And then he sprung the pre-show on me. I don't know anybody grappling.
Can you do the pre-show for me? Is that what?
We got all the audio set up, and Jordan Kurtz was there.
Yeah.
And Jordan and I have worked together before, so it's not a big deal. But he's like, all right, so how about you guys do the pre-show, like 10 or 15 minutes is all we need beforehand. I'm like, by you guys, did you mean Jordan and the mouse in his pocket?
Or this guy?
He was like, no, you two do it. You guys, you'd be good. You should do it. And I'm like, Steve, I have not even looked at the lineup, much less spent the time. If I do commentary, like we had before, I need the lineup several days in advance so that A, I can make sure I'm pronouncing names correctly.
Yep.
B, I can look at the matchups and kind of see what kind of grappler they are, what kind of fighter they are. So I know, I have
Yeah.
something in the tank to talk about. Doing an entire pre-show cold,
It's just not. Well,
it went fine.
and you've kind of been out of the game anyway since you've been back in
Right.
Florida.
Right.
You haven't been.
I
here.
have not done any type of commentary or, I mean, obviously we've been filming the show, so I'm used to a camera turning on and being able to go, but it's definitely difficult when you A, are cold, and B, you don't have any information. So I turned into the color guy real quick. I let him like lead the show and talk about each of the individual matchups, and then I would just throw some spices on it.
Yeah.
There's things you can say in just the right spot.
Yeah.
It was a cool show. Cody Brundage grappled on it.
Like the main event, I'm assuming.
Yeah, he was main event
Yeah.
against an Easton kid,
Oh,
Jamie Mullen.
Jamie Mullen.
Young Jamie from Easton. I don't know if you know. Anyway, Cody recently fought on UFC 300 versus Bo Nickel on a short notice fight.
Yeah.
And then back here training, obviously out of Factory X and grappling on today's show, which is, that's cool. When guys make it and still come back and do some stuff
I think I feel like it would help. It helps them with the competition aspect, the nerves.
Sure, you got to get over that.
You got to get over it, or just be okay with it. Either one, whatever. So it's probably, and I think it's cool for the people that show up.
100%.
Like that's exciting for them to see, because
when they say UFC fighter so and so is going to be on this card, it lends credibility to the card, and some fans who maybe would think twice about just going to a jiu-jitsu show because they don't know a lot about it or they're questioning things. They see a name like that, UFC fighter so and so, Cody Brundage or anybody is going to be on. They're like, oh, well, I'll go just to see that.
does he, if with the UFC guys, did he allow the any rules, like just like the ankle locks, heel locks, all that stuff? Because I know there's one, what is it, CFFC or Fury, I don't know, out of in the East Coast, if they have a UFC fighter, leg locks are off the table.
Oh,
Just because I think they don't want.
right. You don't want your product hurt doing something that wasn't making them any money.
Yeah.
I don't know that there was a rules variation for that match.
Oh, okay.
I feel like there were some leg attacks going on during that match.
All right.
I don't know for sure. And if it would get Cody in trouble, absolutely, there were no leg attacks.
I don't
it was
think
predetermined.
I don't think it would get him in trouble. I think it's more of like that promotion showing respect to the UFC.
They should have, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You should always call ahead and
Yeah.
make sure that, hey, we're using one of your guys, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. His wife actually grappled on the same card, which is kind of cool.
That's cool.
That's cool. She was on Tough the same season as JJ.
Yeah, Tough 23.
Yeah.
Which was forever ago.
Yeah, it feels like yesterday and a whole lifetime ago.
Yeah. I think this was about the time we found out that they were doing, but on online, Facebook or whatever it was, that we found out they were doing the tryouts. And then like 2 weeks later, we had to Vegas for the tryouts.
You had to go, yeah.
in 2015.
Oh my. It was that long ago?
That's when, yep. And then she got on in January 2016.
Yeah.
December 1st is the day she got the call to the UFC.
I said, well, you're coming to Tough?
No, the UFC, it'll be 8 years.
Oh.
The first.
On the 2016.
2016 is
December.
December 1st.
This next week.
Yeah.
8 years.
8 years.
8 years. That's 2 3/4 careers.
Yeah. That's a long time.
It's been there.
Yep.
Been there. And let's be real. JJ is a company man. JJ's she's a company fighter.
Fight, yeah. You don't really choose your fights. It's either yes or no. It's like, well, yeah, got to get paid.
Right. Yeah.
Bills don't pay themselves.
If you start saying no a lot, they start offering less often.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They sit you down.
They say, hey,
Okay. Yeah.
what do you want to do here?
Make a choice.
Do you just want to wear some of the clothes, or do you actually want to
Get in there.
show up? Yeah. But she answers the call whenever.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. She's always ready to go. You were alone for an entire week.
All week last week.
Well, not alone.
No. I had my daughter Delilah. You
Yeah.
know. But the week went quick.
How'd you eat?
We're like garbage.
Restaurant food, DoorDash,
A DoorDash,
Yeah.
restaurant food,
and then crap.
and then just crap throughout the day.
Crap out of the kitchen.
Yeah, yeah. A couple days I cooked, and that's fine. But it was just tacos. Not they were good,
Right.
but I could have probably ate a little better. I mean, I woke up a little this morning, ate some chips and dip. She's like, "You can't have that for breakfast." I was like, "You're right. You're right. You're
I
home."
got to get back to the schedule.
So,
This is your out of town food, not my normal breakfast.
yeah, but no, it was the week went quick. We were actually talking on our way here because we had that drive. I was like, I can't believe you left last Saturday, and
Yeah,
you know,
it's fast.
it went pretty quick.
The older we get, the faster the weeks go.
Yeah, and I stayed busy. I had to help one of the girls from the gym. Her car was overheated, and it wasn't blowing out hot air, so I changed the thermostat for her.
Oh, yeah.
That was a day work. Getting my bought my Lego set.
Did you get it put together?
No.
Did you start it?
No, not yet.
Did you tell her?
Yeah, it's in the front room.
It's
The box is there.
I sent you from
That-
Marketplace.
That table.
Yeah.
That could be the
You
leg,
need
the Lego
the table
table.
to build the.
I don't have nowhere to put the table.
It's a
though.
Millennium Falcon table. I mean, it was screaming for you to build the Millennium Falcon Lego set on it,
on it. Yeah.
but no.
No. So I started, but I brought the other boxes of the other sets I have. Yeah, and started sorting them out, and I'm gonna attempt to put one together tonight.
Oh, you're gonna start.
Well, I'll start one today.
Do you need to go on that Lego website?
I logged in. I made me an account. What was it?
Somethingbrick.com.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So you can buy all the extras.
Oh yeah.
Is it cheaper than trying to figure it
Some.
out other ways?
Some. On that Millennium Falcon, I got it for a good deal off of Marketplace, and I needed a couple pieces, but I needed all the little figures,
Right.
and some of them are decently priced. So
Yeah.
it was cheaper for me to buy that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah. So
And they have all the pieces.
now I have all the pieces.
Twice. Some of them.
Yeah.
Most of them.
I might put some on there for sale. I don't know.
Put them up. Yeah. If
I'm
there's a
not
market.
using, if I'm not using them,
If there's a market, I didn't even know there's a secondary market for Legos.
whoever made that's a genius.
You need to do that because you don't mind separating them.
No. I have like there's like four
Big ones.
with over 1,000 pieces each in a box. Just
You know what I do with them if they're missing a piece?
that's it. No?
Yep. Next. Next. So, what's today? Today is Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tuesday, as we closed out episode 4, we were talking about some of the things we had left over on our list because we both build lists. Sometimes we get to them.
Yep.
But we brought up a question that I wanted to ask, and we said we'd both think about it, and then we would answer it this week. And that question was, how do you view success versus failure? Does something have to be a total success to be a success to you?
No.
Okay.
I think there are some, but I think in general, I think a failure is really not trying. At least you tried. I'm not saying
Okay.
I'm not saying you're not gonna succeed at doing it, right? That's a bigger picture.
Right.
If we're thinking the smaller picture, to get there, I think, yeah,
There's some successes along the way.
Yeah, because hopefully, how many times do we start something and it's like, I don't want to do that, but it helps us get to where we need to go. And the next, I think that I think obviously, different ideas like business. Yeah, that can be a failure because your pockets are hurting.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it's a personal thing, I don't know if there's any failures if you try. If you're thinking professionally, I think that there are failures, and those hurt.
One of the things I thought about when I was working through this question is something that we almost always hear in combat sports. When people are talking about winning or losing, they say You either win or you learn. And probably one of these things that I disagree with the most in the world.
I disagree. I don't like the saying. I don't ever use the saying because I feel like you can learn off a win too. You don't have to lose to learn.
But a loss is still a lot. Like
A loss is,
you don't overvalue a loss by saying that it was a lesson that you learned.
no.
Sometimes you lost, and just
It's okay.
somebody else won and you lost, and that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And that I hate that more than anything. It's like the bubble wrap society that we live in, where we want to let people down so gently.
Yeah. And I think that we fail them in those ways of letting them down gently. I think that there's ways that we can be like tough love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think it's a good idea to just lay them down safely every time, because what are you actually learning then?
Well, and you as a coach at the highest level, doing, with athletes that are all in their mind, should believe that they are or will be good enough to be a champion.
Yeah.
They're not just a bunch of guys that are just happy to be there. You cannot live in a world where you spoon feed them.
No.
After a loss, it's not, well, we sure learned a lot though. It's, no, let's look at the loss.
Yeah.
We can learn from it. Let's look at it. It's still a loss, and it should sting.
And the first fight we had, we got together, had breakfast, and talked about the fight. And we started the way we do it is we don't talk about necessarily the fight.
Right.
We talk about everything leading up to the fight.
How was the camp?
Yeah, exactly.
Mentally, physically,
Mindset,
what did we do
everything.
right? What did we do wrong?
Yeah, and it's like they come out of these talks, oh, you're attacking me. But when you win, it's like, okay, yeah, it's fine. But when you lose, you're saying the same thing. You're saying the same thing.
Sure.
But it's like we
They
don't.
should be seeing the same thing in a win and a loss.
We shouldn't have to learn in a loss. Yeah, we can.
Mm-hmm.
We shouldn't. Let's win and learn.
But we shouldn't have to not digest a win either.
No.
You have to digest that the same way.
The same.
Maybe you got a win, but you didn't stick to the game plan. You did not follow the path that was set. And it wasn't because something crazy happened and made it so you had to adjust. So you watch a lot of fighters, they win the fight, but the plan that was put in place, the path they were supposed to take to that fight, they blow it off, and they go off script and do what they want to do sometimes.
Yeah.
But it also puts them in unnecessary danger, or puts them in bad situations that you intentionally set the game plan up to avoid.
Yeah.
But then they end up there. And so even though they win, you still have to pull them aside.
Yeah. And I think talking about like the failure thing is like you can't be afraid of it. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
The more you do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how do you process it and learn from it so that you can hopefully turn around and be successful in whatever you want to do.
When you see someone who works through a problem and they continue to work on that journey, I see that as a success.
Yeah.
When you see someone who starts on a journey and they have, great aspirations of what it's going to be, but then they hit a couple obstacles early on and they immediately abandon ship or say that it's, not worth it or they're not going to do it. Those are the kind of people that I am ultimately concerned with their ability to ever really feel success.
I feel like because sometimes I see that they surround themselves with the wrong people, not in a bad way, but it's like a comfort thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything they do is great.
Yeah.
Everything they do is a good idea, or you're killing it. You're doing, there's never that one friend or that one person like, hey, that sucks.
And fighters are the ultimate issue in that situation.
Yes.
Because once a fighter starts to achieve some kind of success, no one around them wants to be
that guy,
that squeaky wheel, because they don't want to get cut out.
Yeah.
And fighters, and anything like movie stars, same thing. Musicians, same thing. everyone's afraid to be that person that goes, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it's hard. Guess what?
Mm-hmm.
The success is on the other side of hard. Let's go. Let's move.
Yep.
You know, and too many people are like, "No, you're fine. Oh yeah, we definitely don't need. We don't need to go to that gym anymore. They don't get you."
Yeah. And you know, I feel like coaches are too worried about, oh, I'm not going to be able to go.
Losing a fighter.
I'm not going to be able to go anymore. I'm not. It's
Yeah.
like, well,
They're not going to call me to go.
yeah. And I'm not, to me, I enjoy it,
Mm-hmm.
but I also don't want to be like,
You're not begging.
this is stupid because
Yeah.
I can't even be honest with you.
Right.
You know?
If you just want yes men.
Yeah. And it's just like, that's not me. I can't do that. Right. You know? So I feel like those people, like, you know, that you're talking about it, they just sometimes surround themselves with the wrong people in that aspect of,
Yeah.
you know.
And then you surround yourself with people who work so hard
Yeah.
all the time. They don't stop. And sometimes you feel like less than. You're like, God dang, how do they do all of that? And I feel like I'm not doing enough to even to get there.
I think because everybody plays a role, right?
Mm-hmm.
In certain parts of the thing, and
Whatever
like,
it is.
Yeah, whatever it is. You know, like some people, it's like, yeah, you're supposed to be in front of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this guy's job over here, your job is to make sure the dog is going out to the restroom and fed.
It's still a job.
It's still your job, right? Like,
Well,
because
look at editors. You know, if you're talking about what we do,
yeah,
our job is to come in here prepared to have an interesting enough conversation.
yeah,
Bring up topics that people may ponder and think about and resonate with and go with them. Or just be funny enough that people overlook our stupidity.
yeah,
It's a mix.
both.
Definitely a mix. But then as soon as we're done, we turn all of this off and we go on about our merry way, and we hand the project off to Kay Miller, who then has to edit the entire project, put it together in a way, package it the best way possible, and then put it back out, for subscribers or people to see. Now, is any one of our job more or less important?
I don't think so.
No.
You know, I don't think so. I think that certain jobs hold certain values. Like, hey guys, let's let don't bother Kay Miller. She's working.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
because if we record 70 episodes, but she can't get them edited,
yeah, it's like,
then it's just data sitting in a drive that will be stale dated very quickly.
yeah. And as long as I feel like those people know their jobs or no, I shouldn't say jobs, the role that they play to be successful on that team, that's all that matters. Nobody's going to I don't think that anybody should look at you and say, that guy's not pulling his weight.
Right.
You know, now if I got to keep reminding you that, and that's a different conversation.
Well, and that's why in your line of work as a combat sports coach, you don't coach everything about JJ. Because then you're not using the smartest people around you.
No.
In the same way that doing something like we're doing, we don't just believe that what we do is entertaining or this or that. You know, we look for feedback. We look for other people. I watch podcasts all the time.
Yeah.
I watch and I kind of see what I think is interesting, what I think is maybe less interesting, how the dynamic works between the people that are on, how they use their producers.
Yeah.
And ultimately I found some podcasts that I really, really enjoy watching. And one thing that I do like about it, and eventually maybe if we grow up at some point and we're not in this space, which I would be really mad about because
Gotta leave.
I like the space a lot. I really enjoy when shows have a good producer
Yeah.
and the talent will turn and talk to the producer, and the producer also has information because they've been preparing for the show all, along with the cast.
Yeah.
I like that. In my old studio, there used to be a glass window right here, and the producer sat right there.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things to do was try to stump the producer.
Oh.
Because my producer at the time, Joel, knew exactly kind of the flow of how I liked my show to go. So every once in a while, I would watch him over there. He's getting ready to cue something up because he knows where I'm going. He's like, oh, I got this. And so I would just take a left turn and just watch him for a second. But then I would bring him into the conversation because, you know, I was getting way too predictable.
Oh,
And I wanted it to be more
a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was great having him on the other side of the glass. You know, at the same time, when I started just going on a weird tangent on a rant, I would look over and he'd be like, "What are you doing? Are you crazy?" And I'd be like, "Oh, maybe
Just a little bit.
maybe I backed that one up just a little bit." But that to me is part of the whole process of becoming a success.
Yeah.
You know, it's small doses. Small wins are wins.
Mm-hmm.
Small losses are still losses.
Yep.
Ultimate wins are great. Ultimate losses hurt a lot.
Yep.
But as much as I hate the participation trophy society that we live in,
It's too many.
I also hate that things are so heavily weighted in ultimate success or ultimate failure.
But would you rather have that than just we're handing out a bunch of participation trophies?
Yes, but I would also like to find the middle. Something where we accept losses, we process the loss, we work through the loss, we understand what our role in the loss was and how we could adjust it and make it better. But it doesn't need to be an ultimate win or lose.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you an example for me personally. For the last 3.5 years, I've been filming the bounty hunting show. Ultimate win for me would have been like a Netflix or a Hulu coming and saying, "Hey, we love this.
Let's do it."
We want to fund it on a bigger scale." That's ultimate win. Ultimate loss is you get canceled, I guess, on the internet, and you can't do anything. So it's ultimate win or ultimate loss, right? But what happened in the middle? I had a great time filming an awesome show with some of my closest friends for a very, very long time as far as internet content goes. Mm-hmm. Was it an ultimate win or an ultimate loss? In my opinion, no. But it's also not a participation medal. You see,
No, I see where you're going. I see where you're at. Right, you're in the middle.
I see it as a huge win. Everything that we accomplished as a group out there, and Kay Miller and I as a team, and the growth that we had in our marriage and individually as people, huge wins. Because there's not a production team that wants to, that ultimately bought the show or wanted. Is that a loss? Yeah, to an extent.
Yeah.
I mean, when I started, I had an ultimate win. I had my signing up to the UFC moment would be if I did well enough that something like that bought it. That would have been my Super Bowl.
And that would have been your ultimate win.
I did not achieve that, but I do not see the last few years of filming as a loss.
I don't think it was a loss either. I think it was more. It was a success, and I feel like it. If you're not looking at a production team or production or whatever, picked us up. If it adds to your life, it's what you needed in those moments,
Right?
You know what I mean? Like now you came back, other things change, things go a different way,
Yeah.
and then what happens? Like something else picks you up.
Yeah.
So there's still an ultimate win.
I think it was a win because I learned a lot.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about production. Pat is...
Which is probably one of the most important things, right?
Pat is an absolute workaholic perfectionist. And I learned from him so many things about what you should expect of your production. I watched him film things that we thought were going to be really good. And then he would go through and throw the entire project away because it didn't meet in his mind what the minimum bar would have been.
Like his QC control is way up.
Yeah. And I learned a lot from that. I learned a lot about production, about what you should expect. That's why you and I have conversations throughout the week, and why we thought we had some cameras that were going to, be exactly what we wanted, because we were in controlled lighting. We were doing this, we're doing that. We did the research. It was like the vlogger camera. And over the last 4 episodes, when Kay Miller's editing, she made a few references about, this, I don't know, this looks, and I would go and look at the footage. And then when we're doing premieres, I watch them on a big monitor. And I saw that the quality from the cameras that we were using was not ultimately
What you liked.
what we wanted, or what we needed, or what we should be expecting. Was it good? It was decent. It was okay.
It was better than most.
Sure. I mean, you watch a lot of other.
You know what I mean? And nothing against them. It's just,
No.
I think I don't even know enough about that world.
Yeah.
But I do know, that looks good. You know?
Yeah. So I feel like I have a pretty big win over the last several years, because I ended up in a place where I think I have a high enough expectation of quality. And when I watch things back, I don't just go, oh yeah, we're good enough. That's good. That's okay. I go, oh man, the content was good, but I would have probably stopped watching at that point because of this.
Yeah.
The camera did this, or this happened, and I don't want those things to happen. Now, I don't want to be ultimately a perfectionist who just, tears everything we do apart, because that's silly.
I just think you're just asking. If you're trying to do that, you're asking too much, because nothing's going to ever be perfect.
No.
Because we're constantly chasing we're doing it. We're trying to be better every episode. You know what I mean? And as long as we do that, I think it'll be okay. If we're trying to be like that, let's redo that whole episode. It's like,
no,
that's not going to work.
No. And that's one thing I definitely learned from filming the show. The entire show was always shot as one take. There were no stops.
So it's like,
there were no reshoots. There were no, let's try that again. It was, everything they saw was one take.
That's tough.
So the cameras pressed record, and when they stopped, that's the end of the episode. Now, when they go to edit, they'll bounce back between the 2 cameras, or, whatever cameras we were using, but there were no starts and stops, because you can't ever get the natural reaction twice.
No.
We didn't go to New York School of Arts and learn about acting and be able to turn the crying on and off.
Doing a show like that, though, the second reaction's always going to be
less than.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can always tell somebody's first reaction.
Yeah.
Unless you, like you said, unless you go to the movies and
you're top of the top.
But for the most part, you're going to be able to see like those natural reactions.
Yep. And that's why I feel like, coming back to do the podcast like this, I love the live aspect of it. That's why I kept throwing the let's go live to members on it, because you want to get it right, and you want to give it the right energy. We can't record us live to members, cut it, and then go, I didn't like that. Let's try to do the whole thing again. Because
log back in.
Yeah. Are you going to watch us try to run through the same stuff twice? No. So you got to be ready. You got to be frosty. It's got to happen. You got to naturally be able to move in the direction
that you want to go.
Yeah. I mean, it's the only way to do it. So I love that aspect of it. That's why I like the live piece, because I really like that pressure of getting it.
Yeah. And that's as close as you're going to get.
That's also why I don't want to know what topics you bring, and I don't want you to know what I bring, because I'm not getting your natural reaction.
Yeah.
When I ask the question, I'm getting your thought out reaction. And I don't want that. And I don't want to give you a thought out reaction. I think I think it's a good idea. It's more I like the idea, because when
when you first asked about this, and I thought I still think it was a great idea, and I still think it was supposed. I still think it was
We're only
supposed
5
to.
episodes in.
I still think it was one of the things that was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, we're gonna have to. I just start brainstorming. We're gonna have to get together, figure it out. But then you said, hey, you bring some topics, I'll bring some topics, and I said that's way better. No preparation for the response.
Right. There's preparation.
But there's no preparation for the response that other person is going to give, and I think that's
that.
better.
Yeah, I hate prepared response.
Yeah, because you can't. It doesn't come. It's like this second take. You can't.
And on camera, it's 10 times more noticeable.
Yeah.
In life, you may not notice it, but on camera, it's way more noticeable. Way more. And that's why I enjoy doing it this way.
Yeah.
And it's part of how I used to do my show way back when. When it was Trevor Rocks Denver, I would bullet point things, but then I would just go because I didn't know where my mind would take me. And sometimes I would work myself into a corner and have to work back out. I thought I was going in a direction with the topic, and then I'd be like,
oops.
I don't have anything else of this. So
So I'm getting into wrestling season.
Yes.
Well, I'm not.
No.
Wrestling dad or parent, coach, whatever.
Right.
It starts next week.
You're going to live vicariously through Elsa for the next.
Yeah, and this is one thing I struggle with the most.
Okay.
And I want to see what you think about this when it comes to your kids in a sport that if you don't know the sport, like if you're
my kids played volleyball, I'm not a volleyball player.
Yeah, it's like okay, but in a sport that is it better to be a coach to your kids or a fan, cheerleader, whatever you want to call it to your kids in that sport? Because I struggle because I want to be like cheerleader in all the way.
Right.
But then that coach in me that I know some just comes out, and it's hard I can't do both. You can't do both. I feel that you can't do
one
both.
foot in, one foot out.
Yeah, you can't do it.
No.
You know what I mean? And being the last season,
senior year,
I want to make sure, not make sure, I want to make sure I'm aware of it, and so that we can all have fun, because we have fun.
Right.
But I think that it could be funner because it could be more controlled. I just don't know what's better. What do you think?
I have lived slightly in both with the girls. Most of my girls played volleyball. Like, probably their most competitive sport was volleyball.
Yeah.
I am not a volleyball player. So as a dad,
who's coming in?
I don't know. Vinny's got him though, huh? As a volleyball dad, I got to sit on the stands and just cheer and let the coaches coach.
Yeah.
I also, way back when, why does she cancel? She listens to us so much.
She's constantly interrupting.
I didn't even say
nothing.
I didn't say her name. Anyway, I was able to coach. Alexa canceled. I was able to coach Autumn and Jaden in jiu-jitsu for quite some time. And I don't know if I did them a disservice by coaching them, because the problem for me, I know what they're capable of.
Yeah. That's the hard part, because you know what they can do.
And I found that disservice the first time I took Autumn to a jiu-jitsu competition. Mm-hmm. She had been just crushing guys at the gym. She was really, 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 really good in the gym.
Yeah.
She'd never been in a competition like that. I grew up competing from when I was 5 all the way through, so I never remember having that feeling of not having competed.
Yeah.
So we took her to her first jiu-jitsu tournament, and I'm very big on like visualizing the win, seeing how it's going to happen. So I told her a series that, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to end up here, this is how you're going to win. And I put it in her head, like that's the path to win. Autumn is very literal. if you say ABCD,
It's gonna go
ABCD.
Yeah.
She ran into, it was mixed boys and girls at that time. Back fight to win tournaments.
Yeah.
The kids, it was just belts,
Yeah.
belts and weights. She ran into a kid that had been training a little bit longer and had done it a few more times and been to tournaments. And this kid hit a blast double, and I watched her face just absolutely go into panic because we went A, and then the rest of the alphabet got thrown out the window. And she was just trying to survive, and she came off the mat very defeated. And that's where the disservice came from, because I set these things in. I was like, you're just going to do this, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do this, and I'm your dad, so that's how it goes. Whereas a coach would just probably have said, hey, Autumn, it's your first competition. What is talking? What is it? I don't know what it is.
Maybe it's me. I mean, it's not my phone, but it's.
I don't know where it's coming from.
Let's see if that works.
We'll try it.
All right.
Where a regular jiu-jitsu coach would have understood that it was her first competition and said, hey, no pressure, no real expectation here. This is our first competition. Let's go out there and, be cool. We're all right. And she probably would have felt more calm and more prepared from a coach that could give her that.
Yeah.
I failed her immensely in just believing, because I'm like you just do.
Yeah.
You show up and you do. There's no worry about it. You wake up, show up, do. I was very blessed in my jiu-jitsu and fight career that I was a competitive athlete all my life.
Yeah.
There was nothing new. There was nothing surprising. And I expected to win, and I won. Not everybody is that way, and not everybody grew up that kind of competition. So coaching your own children, I think like Delilah is getting ready senior year. I mean, Elsa.
Yeah.
Elsa's getting ready for senior year. She's got colleges looking at her.
Yep.
The whole goal for senior year is compete at the highest level you can and do not wreck the Ferrari.
Yeah.
Just don't make bad choices in matches, or just do not wreck the Ferrari. And she's probably going to receive some money to go to school. But you train combat athletes at the very highest level. You know more than her coaches have ever seen, because you've been through this so many times in so many gyms. I mean, wrestling is a part of MMA. We wrestle a lot. You wrestle and wrestle and wrestle and wrestle and wrestle, because wrestling is the scramble art. Jiu-jitsu is smooth and slow, and everything works on your feet. Obviously, dirty boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, but wrestling is the scramble sport, and you have to teach the scramble sport as much or more than anything else, because those are the times when an athlete can change the trajectory of what's going on.
Yeah.
So you're around wrestling
All the time.
constantly. And to believe that just investing her senior year in her coaches, yes, you want to believe that they're going to always have the best of intentions and the best knowledge and the best guidance for her.
That's what's hard, because there are times where I see they're not old enough, for one. I think as adults you learn to kind of open your mind and learn from everybody.
Yes.
Right? Like I tell people, I even tell her, sometimes take all the information. Eventually you're going to know what to throw away.
Right.
Right? It's like we can't give
Process
you,
in, process out.
And I feel that like so many of these athletes nowadays, not even just not just any specific, I think all athletes, they just want all the answers to the test, and they show up to the test. They show up to the test without any notes.
Well, a lot of that is because their entire lives, they were a better natural athlete than the people that they were surrounded with. So they did not have to train or practice harder than everybody else because they were just naturally somewhat better.
Yeah.
And then they get to that level of competition where everyone will outwork you
Yeah.
if you don't work. And just having the answers.
No, and I think that's where Delilah, like I said, I know, I feel like I know what she's capable of, right? And I told her, if you knew how good you were,
Right. If you watched you through my brain.
I don't know if you would lose matches. Right. That's just how confident I feel I am, right? In your ability. I think that's where, like, sometimes I get upset where it's like, oh, you're killing me, kid. Because there are matches where she wrestles somebody that's really good and she does great.
Yeah.
And then she gets out there and it's like, oh, this should be a good one. All right. And it's like, what happened?
To the level of competition.
Yeah. I'm like, what happened? So that's why I say, like, is it better to be like, hey, good job. And let the coach say, you know, whatever. Or is it better for me to be like, hey, listen, you know,
why did you only put your foot half on the gas that entire match?
Yeah.
And let it even be something that could have been a loss?
Yeah. Or as close as it should have been.
Obviously, you know that you're a better athlete than that person.
Yeah.
Why would you? Yeah. So, in this type of situation, when you have a high-level high school athlete who is getting looked at from schools and having the opportunity to at least get some of that school paid for, most parents don't have the luxury of having the knowledge that you have and the IQ that you have in the sport. And so they have to just trust the coaches. You know, maybe mentally and psychologically they can guide their kid in the best way possible, but they don't have that boots on the ground experience to say, hey, I think in a situation like yours, you almost have to create a partnership with her coaches and be selfish. That's probably my biggest downfall in life, was not being selfish enough with my time as far as practice or skill or what I wanted as the outcome. And I was like, I'm good enough. I'll just kind of go with the flow. I don't want to be the squeaky wheel. I don't want to be the problem. But you don't have to be the problem to also have an expectation. If it's not rec ball where your kid's just there to have fun, she's there now to get to the next level.
Yeah. And we started this to have fun.
Right.
And it's like, whoa.
It happens. It happens. But because you are where you're at now, and because you have a resume, because you bring to the table knowledge, you're not just that asshole parent that's like, my kid should be the starting quarterback and the starting safety, and you know he's going to return all the kickoffs too. You're not that parent. You come from a place of understanding. You come from a place of coaching. So, in all honesty, it would almost be a disservice not to form some kind of alliance or partnership with her coaches and say, hey, I'm not going to step on you guys. You know, at a match, I'm not going to be yelling from the stands, coaching over you. But at the same time, in the gym, if I'm noticing some things, I would like to be able to talk about them with you so that, you know, you can address them in the gym and handle them how you do on your mats for my daughter, because I need my daughter to get exactly what she needs right now to get her to where she wants to be down the road.
Yeah.
And if her coaches are smart and her coaches also have her best intentions in mind, they would recognize that and say, well, I mean, this guy kind of knows what he's talking about. So.
Well, yeah, that because I also see coaches that I've seen I know some really, really good coaches.
Yeah.
And then I know some, coach. I don't want to say not good coaches because I feel like everybody starts as a not good coach.
Sure.
But they're starting in their coaching journey. And then sometimes that's what I'm just like, I do see a little bit like, okay, if I could just do this and speak up.
If I could just maybe help them there.
Because I want I want my kid to succeed,
Right.
but I also want the
want the
wrestling
coach
I
to-
want everybody to succeed.
And you want that coach to get better.
Yeah.
You want,
I don't want to just be like,
yeah,
you know, like that's what I don't want.
sure.
You know, but
I've watched my girls play volleyball on teams where the coach probably shouldn't have been
coaching.
anywhere near a volleyball. You know, they're like their kid needed a coach when they were 10 because no parent stepped up to be the coach of the team.
Oh.
They didn't have an athletic background, and they just kept coaching, and no one ever said.
I played coaching. I played volleyball in school.
you know, nobody ever stopped them and said, you know, you're not like you would probably be a good support system to a coach, but you're not a coach. But now they've coached for so long that they feel like they're a top level coach, and you're like, but you're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have to say that to people sometimes. But
yeah.
you're not.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's kind of how I approach, like, you know, some things I do. And JJ hates when I say this, but I know what we need. But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying I know everything,
Right.
but you know, we need to wrestle. Oh, you know, such and such. You're the
Yes.
wrestling coach.
Yes.
That's not my like. We come, you know, the roles of. That's not my job.
Right.
Yeah, well, if I go out on the road with a guy that can't afford, like, you know, a low fighter where they're lower
You
level,
can only afford to take one coach.
then I got it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But
You've been around enough.
When we get to the higher level, like, you have coaches for that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? My job is just to be like, hey guys, I think we need to do this, or hey Mike, I think we should do this. You know, and that's kind of how we approach the coaching aspect. Is, you know, we have a meeting during fight camp not a meeting. It's like a group text every Sunday, and then they're like, you know, sometimes they'll be like, hey Mike, I think we need to work on more striking this week, and then they leave me be.
Done.
Or
Well,
hey,
that's it.
you know,
As a head coach, especially of a combat sports athlete, the worst thing you could possibly think and believe is that you know all of the stuff that she's going to need to know.
yeah,
That's ludicrous.
no,
Your job as the head coach is yes, you're a striking coach.
yep,
I mean, it's tried and true. It's proven over time, but you know to go, man, her wrestling doesn't look great right now. Hey,
yeah,
we need to get some people in here that are just going to wrestle her down all day long. We need her doing that.
yeah,
I don't know what that exactly is.
yep.
You do.
Yeah, you know, and
It's your week.
that's how I
Let's
think this wrestling team for Delilah. I don't want to be too like, hey, but I need to be somewhere in the middle to where it's like I can also enjoy, but like, all right,
It's not rec league.
no, because man, these tournaments kill me. They get exhausting.
Oh yeah.
They're tiring.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
I'm going to tell Delilah she needs to play club volleyball.
no.
You haven't heard enough squealing shoes, whistles, and girls doing cheers in an echoey gym for long enough.
I don't know. That's a headache.
Oof.
Or migraine.
Like Jaden was very competitive and played on some really high level competitive volleyball teams. All the girls, Gracie played at a high level. Autumn played through like middle school and then thought about high school, and Peyton played some in high school. But Gracie and Jaden, really kind of took to that high level competition volleyball. And it's awesome to watch them in their element. Also good that I didn't have any coaching involved, but probably the most anxiety ridden, not because of their performances, because it's 900 parents crammed in a room. It's squeaky shoes and whistles, because when they do volleyball tournaments, it's like 9 courts going at once at full volume. And girls at that age all do the chants and cheers in between everything that's going on. It's stomp, stomp, clap, this, that. And volleyball shoes on a floor,
Forget it.
it's worse than fingernails on a chalkboard.
Oh.
So that part,
Yeah.
oof, that part was really, really hard. But Kay Miller drove like from Tampa to Phoenix. No, Tampa to Atlanta with Jaden to go take care of a volleyball tournament. Like Kay Miller's on. She's like, we got volleyball here. We got to do this. I'm like, And then you know me. I'm not leaving the house.
Yeah.
We did. Oh, I think we have a voicemail.
Oh, hey.
Shit, I forgot. It's this one, right? Yeah. Well, let's see if we can do it. We had a voicemail. We had a couple texts. People have been texting me.
Hey.
I've been having weird, like, people just text and ask questions about stuff, and I've been having like full-on conversations with people in text. I said I wasn't probably going to interact in that way. I didn't mean to change.
You can't help it though.
No, but I'm like, hey, these people are fun. Let's see. We have this is the one we have. Oh, we got to connect to that. Man, I feel old. Technology is not my friend all the time. Got to turn some volume up.
Hi, my name's Jacob. I was just curious to see how your dog's doing. You know, I've been watching you since you and Patty started. I think you're great. You know, I've been a big fan of you guys. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing, and you guys do great work. Have a nice night.
All right, so that was Jacob.
Wants to know how Vinny's doing?
Yeah, mostly didn't give a crap about you or I.
No.
Vinny has fans. Vinny's great. Vinny was just in here laying on her dog bed, chewing on her wooba. She's out there protecting the girls.
If she didn't get kicked out, she'd still be.
She's still laying there. But the problem is she likes the woobas that squeak. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like she knows. And she'll just look at you like at the most inopportune time.
Just enough.
Yeah. She loves him, though. She's right in the living room right now. She stays with Kay Miller right on her hip.
Right. Yeah,
pretty much everywhere.
That day I came, one of the days we were filming, we were in there. Mm-hmm. She was like on top of her.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Vinny's doing great.
Yeah, Vinny's great. She's living her best life. Yeah. Trust me. She's spoiled. Speaking of Vinny, got the bite sleeve in.
Yep.
Are you ready?
I think I'm ready. 5 minutes of training.
5 minutes of training. That's all you need. So
I'm as ready as I'm going to be.
Ordered a new bite sleeve. Got it in yesterday. I gave it a maiden voyage. Make sure that you're good.
Does it work?
Yeah, this one is professional grade. It's actually a little harder than what I would like because you can't really. It needs to get broken in some. It's pretty stiff. Okay. You're not going to feel anything. Oh, except for your butthole pucker when I let her go.
Until you get her off.
Yeah, but once she's on the sleeve, you'll be like, "Oh, this is
bad.
Okay, not that bad." So Mike's going to take a bite from Vinny. We're going to film it.
Oh shit!
You said.
Yeah, no, I did say.
You did.
These are the things I say. Oh, damn! And then, I'm going to do it.
And I say, "Yeah, we're going to do it."
We're doing it.
So we did play a voicemail. If you guys have anything you want to say about the show, if you want to comment on something we talked about, if we gave you incorrect information and you want to correct us, because that happens, or if you just want to react to something we said, or you have an idea of something you would like us to talk about or give our opinion on, because our opinion means zero, but we're willing to give it to just about anybody, you can call 303-578-8680. It is a voicemail and text line that you can hit up 24 hours a day. If you text it in the middle of the night, I'm not going to respond. But people have been texting through the day, and I don't know. I don't even know who it is 90% of the time. It's just the number that comes through, and they just have random questions. We start chatting.
We're not saving it.
303-578-8680. That's the line to get into the show as far as leaving a voicemail or a text. It's me. It's me that's answering your text. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, "Oh, hey, how you doing? Long time no talk." I don't know why.
Habit. No.
Flashlight still going.
Flashlight's possessed.
Flashlight's still going. Leaving the house streak starts again tomorrow.
Reset.
I'm gonna get to Christmas.
No, you won't.
You think I won't last that long?
No. Let's see. What we're going here. Next week's the 1st, right? Sunday? I think Sunday's
something like that.
Sunday's the 1st. By the 15th, you'll get out once.
I hope not. No plans.
I know you.
Today, didn't enjoy it.
I know you hope not.
Mm-hmm.
I think you will.
I did not enjoy it.
And remember, going to check the mail doesn't count. That doesn't count as leaving the house.
It's close. I did not enjoy it. I do not recommend it. Everything I need is right here in this house.
You got to go get groceries.
Nope. No. I don't need to do anything. Nothing. Stay right
You
here.
don't have to go anywhere?
No.
You sure?
Where do I need to go? Where?
You had to go to the jiu-jitsu
I
thing?
did today.
You
I did today.
You had to do that?
I did that. Yes, I did. It reminded me that no. We're going to start a streak.
Okay. Well, we're going to find out how long that streak can last.
We got to 2 topics, right?
Yep.
Success and coaching,
Yep.
and a bunch of mumbly stuff in between.
Yeah.
And Kay Miller fixed the camera because that was going to be a problem. She did some Googling.
Quick.
Yeah, she's fast.
Fast.
Anything you need to add? Anything you want me to think about?
Nope.
You think about what you did.
Think about what you did yesterday. No.
No?
No, I'm good. I think no, I don't.
No?
No.
Okay. You guys heard it here first.
No.
He said we're good.
We're good.
He said I'm doing a good job.
Great job.
Talking to people.
Talking
listening.
to people.
Well, if that's it, that's it. We did, we're over an hour.
The hour goes quick, man.
We're over an hour.
Okay. This one's over an hour.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
Someday we'll get them down. Probably not.
No. Eventually. Probably not.
Wednesdays and Sundays.
Tune in.
Or if you're a member, you get them on Tuesdays and Saturdays sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
They go up pretty quick.
Yep.
Members are usually at least 1 episode to 2 episodes
Ahead, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep, they have them first.
Yeah.
They also get to, if you are a member, some of you guys don't know this because we only talk to members beforehand, before we go live. We do go live here in studio on one camera, live to the members
The whole time.
the whole time we record. So they get to see all the dumb stuff. They get to see all the times we trip over our own words. They get to see when the camera is not exactly how we want it, and Kay Miller has to come and save our lives. They see it all. And then we stick around for a few minutes afterwards and chat it up.
Yep.
So if you guys are interested in that, just click that join button down below. Join us, hang out, and you can do all the cool member stuff. But if you're not a member, I get it. It's Christmas time. Times are tough. $1.99 might be just way out there for you. You still get episodes twice a week from us right here, Wednesdays and Sundays.
Comment on the video.
Yeah.
We'll see it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you leave comments, we'll jump in there and read them. And leave us a voicemail. 303-578-8680.
And a voicemail. Because if not, Trevor will have a conversation.
We're going to keep on texting all over the place. All right. Well, if that's it, that's it. We will see you guys on the next one.
See ya.
Bye.
Watching bags and body tags, they swap tails.